Coming up on this edition of Carolina Insider, flu season is upon us, what you need to know to stay protected, and
if there were corridors or streets along West Columbia where I could put something else, I definitely would.
Business owners find new places for expansion in Columbia. But first, new plans are in the works for Russell House. Find out what this means for students to come. Carolina Insider starts now. Hello, and welcome to this edition of Carolina Insider. I'm Anchor-Mekyla Alvarado. Our top story today, the University of South Carolina is in the midst of a student boom. More students means more space is needed for campus activities, and talks about a new student union are underway. Here with that story in today's Cocky Spotlight is Mercy Myers. Mercy?
Thanks, Anchor-Mekyla. The almost $10 million renovation project that came to Russell House last summer isn't going to quite cut it for future students here at USC, but university officials have been making progress and decisions on how and where to expand. These officials are discussing three concepts. Each one keeps Russell House as the main building for student congregation. One of the plans just expands Russell, while another adds a second union onto South Main Street. The third plan also adds a second union at the Carolina Coliseum. Now, all of these plans include Russell House being completely renovated, and all would take years to design and complete. Director of Campus Life, Kim McMahon, says that students should be advocating for these renovations in order to get the project started sooner rather than later. And this year, the freshman class was the largest and most diverse in history, and those numbers are only expected to grow. Whatever plan ends up being chosen, the goal is to make room for all students. In front of Russell House, Mercy Myers, Carolina Insider.
Thanks, Mercy. A South Carolina sheriff is now serving time in North Carolina after first being held in the Palmetto state. According to the Greenville News, Will Lewis has been moved for his own safety because of his work in law enforcement. Lewis was convicted of using his power in office to facilitate an affair with an employee. He was sentenced to 1 year in prison. A wave of economic growth is heading into West Columbia as the Midlands becomes a new business hotspot. Shantice Stewart reports on what is causing these changes.
It's homecoming weekend, and the festivities are in full swing here at Black Rooster, one of West Columbia's newest restaurants. It's the latest project for Christian Niemi, known for Mr. Friendly's, Gervais Bourbon, and many others. He says he couldn't pass up the spectacular views.
I mean, that's kind of why we chose this location, was because we could look out over the river, whether you're sitting downstairs in the dining room or especially if you're up here on the rooftop.
But the view wasn't the only thing that sold him on coming to West Columbia. He says one of the biggest advantages to opening a business here was just how receptive the city was.
It was a culture of what can we do to help you, get your business open, which was really refreshing.
The city is reaping benefits of recent legislation that creates opportunity zones in low-income communities. The Federal Tax Cuts and Job Acts of 2017 give businesses special tax breaks. There were 135 of these zones in South Carolina, one of them including West Columbia. BJ Unthang is the economic developer for the city. He says the program is helping communities that have lacked economic vitality for quite some time.
West Columbia is really fortunate in that we have opportunity zones in areas. There are some distressed areas in our opportunity zone, obviously, but we have got some of our highest growth areas are within the opportunity zone.
Businesses along the river aren't the only ones to benefit. There's even more opportunity as you head farther west. Back at the Black Rooster, if there was one word that describes West Columbia, Niemi says it would be opportunity.
Columbia continues to grow. When I moved here 20 plus years ago, I couldn't wait to leave. But after living here for a little while, I was like, I really don't want to leave.
The man who once couldn't wait to leave Columbia now sees limitless potential for what the city can be. For Carolina Insider, I'm Shantice Stewart.
In political news, Bernie Sanders' campaign is coming to town this weekend. He's hosting a Medicare for Y'all town hall that will include a group of panelists. If you are interested in this event, it will be tomorrow in Columbia at the Antioch Baptist Church at 3:30. Flu cases across the Midlands are on the rise this season, as well as in the northeastern part of the state, but they're dropping right now in the Low Country and upstate. According to DHEC, Richland County has one of the lowest rates recorded in the state right now, and health providers here on campus say you can help keep it that way.
The flu right now is a very preventable disease with vaccination, hand washing, good hand hygiene, covering your mouth when you cough, blowing your nose and putting it in the toilet, as opposed to flushing, as opposed to putting it in a trash can so those germs can spread.
We're sorry to say the mobile flu clinics the university was offering are now finished for the season, but you can still get a shot at the health center or local clinic. That's it for this edition of Carolina Insider, a student production here in the Kennedy Greenhouse Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communications. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here on Wednesday.